Sonia. I'm an artist focused on a lot of like what am I focused on? I'm focused on working a lot with the body and in terms of like wearable and sculpture and like the experiential environment like surrounding the body. I'm like super interested in the genre of like cyborgs and transhumanism in terms of like escaping or like transforming the binary body. The initial project description was playing with the idea of like the name of the class, which is Unfashionable, and playing with shapes and like garments that are very loud and disruptive. Essentially, I'm supposed to make a garment of some kind, and that's pretty much all I know. The deadline for this assignment is on November 14th. I went to Illustrator and made some shapes to cut out, and then I took the fabric, applied the adhesive, and then I went to laser cut it. I wanted to create something that just took up a lot of space, so like I started with building like a wireframe to just kind of get an overall like gist of the area that I wanted to start in. And I started looking for fabrics, and I did find the mesh and like the silver fabric that I used. Because I had the mesh, I was like, oh, like I think it'd be interesting to have like shapes and like pieces floating on there. I think today I was focused on like kind of just playing around with some of the shapes that I created earlier, and just more of like material exploration. I think I was working on more of like a 2D like bodice part. I like the direction that this is heading. I like the shapes that it's making. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to stitching this on because I'm gonna have to hand stitch every individual piece down, and it's gonna take a really, really long time. But hopefully I will find methods to make it easier. I'm thinking of looking for spray adhesive or other materials that I can use to hold stuff down to make the process go faster, but that is another day's problem. Yeah. Oh, wait. Are you using this? No. Okay, I'm gonna take it. Thanks, spooks. I don't want to do this, guys. It's time to go home. I was just kind of figuring out how to attach this in other ways. I think I'm kind of playing with different fabrics on here, and then also looking for like different backings to like heat it on instead of hand sewing, because I think that it'll take too long. And also there's like texture in the hand sewing that I don't want. I've been working on sculpting, so this piece is going to get printed and then put onto the thing, and just kind of like working with silver on top. I don't know. I'm ideating on that. I put a container down here. Oh, it's dried. Would you like a gift of some glue? I've added kind of a structure of, I don't know what this is called, but it's like a fabric that when you wet it, it kind of gets softened and then can like take shape. It's mostly like, it's a very loose woven fabric with glue kind of in it. And it comes like that, and then I'm thinking of like paper mache and that piece. Oh, I accidentally grabbed too many gloves. I have 3 hands actually. Me personally. Let's see how this goes. What if my other glove? I'm currently just playing with forms and like shapes. Oh, that texture is crazy. My brain is working in slow motion today, so I don't know what is going on in there, but there's not a lot. I was using the burlap to kind of get more shape and texture into the actual structure and just kind of build like some volume on it as well. I'm still pretty much in the earlier stages of this piece. There's a lot to be done, so I'm just kind of like thinking about, or I don't know, I just think that like, I'm not really sure as to like where this is going or like what specifically is going to happen with it, so like I don't really know. I'm tired. I'm just working on building the wireframe for the bottom half of the project. I'm kind of starting to put together a general shape with aluminum wire. A lot of that was just kind of figuring out how do I attach this wire to stay on the body, and it was just kind of a series of trials and errors in terms of bending wire to make it interact with the body in a way that would hold and create the shape that I wanted. But all this will be covered up. Just trying to get some support in there, and then I'll deal with what it looks like later on. I just have a lot more to do, I think. My current thoughts are that there's a lot of stuff to get done in very little amount of time. But yeah, I think I'm just working on kind of continuing this. I think I liked where like the initial shape experimentation went. So just kind of expanding upon this and then just like working on the bottom half of it, figuring out whatever I might end up doing for that, and figuring out how to get it to really attach to the body well. Yeah, I think that's what I'm working on today. And then maybe just kind of figuring out, ideating how it's going to actually sit on the body and like what, like everything else around it, like the, like accessories, makeup, and everything that'll be presented that's like part of how this piece exists, I guess, on the body. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Yeah, I don't know where this fucking bobbin is. I'm gonna give up. I have so much thread I saw in here too, wow. I'll be stealing. Yeah, okay, whatever, I'll just use this. I had like other like fabrics that I kind of looked into using, but ultimately I ended up using a lot of plastic. I used a lot of trash bags I found like around the studios, and I just like cut them up and then applied heat to them to melt them around the wireframe. I went to the spray booth and I did some spray painting, and I covered the plastic and the burlap with black and silver spray paint. A lot of what I do as an artist is focused on kind of that transformation, that like whether it's like bodily or like material transformation. The process of transforming something beyond its initial use is a very interesting concept, and it's something I like implement. So I think that this one was just like another piece where I kind of had the opportunity to kind of make that transformation happen. When I was working with it, was just kind of playing with the actual silhouette of the piece. It almost looks like it's floating, and I think that in itself is very interesting because the way that we usually wear clothing is for coverage, and there's usually like very defined lines as to where, like, oh, this is a piece of clothing, this is fabric on skin, versus kind of exploring like alternative ways of alternative ways of the garment interacting with the body, like visually. So I think that like that, and also the like larger silhouettes that these like pieces create kind of contrast that. This kind of explores altering the shape of the silhouette, so when the body becomes something that like looks very non-human like, or it's like subverting it to an extent what you would expect a silhouette to look like. So yeah, just exploring like alternative silhouettes, alternative ways of viewing like bodies, and how we can transform that through our environment and like materials.